Hey guys, it's Arlessa coming at you with another video, and in this video guys I talk about self-awareness. And I want to point out, I'm going to talk about why self-awareness and why self-awareness is a practice instead of something that you just have and keep, right? You always have to maintain yourself in the pocket of self-awareness because we're always evolving, we're always changing, and there's always new things we're learning about ourselves. So as we change and we evolve, we also have to be self-aware of those new and changed and evolved places that we brought ourselves to on a personal level. And self-awareness, I kind of went back and forth on whether to do it on emotional intelligence or self-awareness, but really they both go hand in hand. I just recently did a video on emotional triggers not too long ago, so it is uploaded on my channel, and it's also uploaded on Instagram as well as Facebook. I'm going to drop all those handles in the comments, so looking forward to seeing everybody all those different places. But guys, emotional triggers, and so I'm going to tie in emotional intelligence with self-awareness because the thing about self-awareness is that self-awareness also equates self-accountability. So self-accountability is really hard for people because we don't really ever want to take a look at ourselves and how we could be acting out, reacting, responding, how we're handling ourselves, especially whenever, say, we're emotionally triggered or going through different things in our mind and kind of reflecting that outward. So self-accountability, you have to be able to take accountability for your own actions and your own choices and the ways that you handle yourself, because the only thing that we actually can control is ourselves and what we choose to do and how we choose to act and our intentions and our motivations and all of that, right? Self-awareness is actually the knowledge of your character, the knowledge of one's self character, your intention, your motivation, what makes you tick, right? It's being self-aware of those things. So when you're self-aware, you have to be able to take self-accountability in order to be more self-aware, because you have to understand your own actions and reactions. The way that it ties into emotional intelligence is because we need to be knowledgeable about our own emotions and where they come from. Are they coming from a past experience? Are they coming from a present experience? I like to point out this a lot, that we only are able to have emotions when we have the experiences that tie us to those emotions. So a lot of our emotional reactions really have to do with our emotional triggers and things that maybe we're not self-aware of that are going on. And so when these things happen in the moment, self-awareness is saying, oh, okay, let me take a step back and observe why I feel this way. Observe why I'm reacting this way. What is it that's actually triggering me or, motivating me to act or react in the ways that I am? And self-awareness is really important because when you start to become more self-aware of your own actions and reactions and what you're placing out energetically with your own facilities, then you start to become more aware of others when they engage with you, right? So it's interesting to me because something that I will do, which is not a fan favorite of people, because people like to have reaction to whatever it is that they're saying or doing, right? We humans tend to, I guess, operate really well and much better under having reciprocation. I was trying to, girl and boy, let me tell you, I sometimes I get stuck on my words all the time, but if you watch my videos. Anyways, we look for reciprocation. And so when somebody isn't reciprocating the energy that we're placing out, then somebody will further sit in what it is that they're sitting in, and then they'll continue to act out. I like to observe people because I typically now, I try not to react for my emotions. Now I'm human, we're all human. We have a big, vast array of emotions, and we're constantly weaving in and out of those emotions throughout our entire day, okay? And so the need to distract, that's an emotion. So when people say, no, I make sure I don't feel shit, that ain't true. Because even when you're making sure that you don't feel shit about something, you're still feeling something about it, right? You still are. We're always interweaving in and out of these emotions constantly. So being self-aware and understanding those emotions is really big. Emotional intelligence is really big. Self-awareness, self-accountability, which I already mentioned. But whenever we're able to see the way that others react from a personal observation of the experience instead of observing and only reacting from the emotion that gets triggered in us from their communication toward us. It's always, I will sit back and I will let people kind of show me themselves, right? See, but the thing is, everybody is always showing you about themselves. I am always showing people who I am, right? If they're willing to listen and they're willing to pay attention, aside from the lens of their own perspective and experience, because that's, everybody is always kind of seeing everything outward in people based on their emotional experience, either with that person or whatever triggers them when they are around that person. Does that make sense? It's whenever you start to really view things in that way, you gain a lot more power of your own facilities. You gain a lot more control over the emotions and the impulsiveness that drives us whenever we are responding and acting out and making choices and things throughout our life. So what does self-awareness do? How do you bring more self-awareness, into your life? So let me tell you, something that's really important to highlight here is breath work. So something that I'm really studying a lot is breath work with the body and trauma and past experiences and the energy that will actually get stuck in our body. So working on your trauma and your past experiences and things that have brought you to where you are now, doing all of that, you have to, I got sidetracked for a second. Anyways, bringing yourself into the awareness of those traumas and those past experiences bring up a lot of things. They bring up a lot of emotions. They bring up a lot of that kind of stuff. And so you're like those high octane, like when that high octane energy is going and you start to say have an anxiety attack or panic mode, or you start to allow your overthinking processes to really get the best of you, then the best way to bring yourself in the moment, because this happens a lot with people. So let's just be honest. It's challenging when you have anxiety or you're dealing with emotional triggers. It's really, really challenging. So I would say, I want to know about, the easiest. I'll go ahead and say the easiest. The easiest and most effective way for me to get myself back centered in my pocket of self-awareness is to focus on breath work. And I see where I got sidetracked a second ago because I was fixing to go into me studying breath work and understanding about the body. Sometimes I lose my train of thought because I don't really edit this. I probably should at some point, but I'd rather just talk to the camera like I'm talking to you guys. That makes me feel, so if I screw up in person talking to somebody, I don't really want to edit that out. And I can't edit that out in person, so why do it in camera? Anyways, I digress. Let me get back to it. So what I was going to say is, let me get back to where I had originally lost my train of thought and kept going into something else, is I've been studying that you have to work in tandem with your body as well as your energy and your mind. So you can heal the traumas and the experiences in your mind, and you can sort them out and figure out where you maybe compartmentalize things or didn't remember things, or where you act out based on those emotional triggers. You can deal with that, but you also still have to release the energy from the body. And so when we become more self-aware, we become more self-aware of our body also, and where it's feeling stuck and stagnant, or even where illness is starting to show up, because that illness is actually stemmed from energy that has not been moved out of the body. So breath work is a big and important tool when releasing energy out of the body. Because I don't know if you notice, when you're in those high octane emotions and you're going through anxiety or panic, or you're just not able to gain control of your thoughts in the moment, what's happening to us at that time is we're holding our breath in. Pay attention next time. Whenever you start to get in those little bouts of emotion and things, and you're not able to really gain control of your senses in that moment, pay attention. I bet you're holding your breath. We hold our breath, and then what we're doing is we're holding that breath, so we have energy that we're not releasing, but then when we hold our breath, we're allowing that energy to get stuck. We're not allowing it to freely move through our body. So breath is important for grounding you as well as moving that energy out of your body. So breath work is going to put you in the pocket of the present moment, because when we're focusing on the way that we're breathing, then we really can't focus on anything else. The brain is not able to focus on all of these different ideas that are just tapping at you, right? So when you find yourself, be like, you know what, I'm gonna focus on my breath. Pay attention to how fast your breath is. right? Are you breathing out of your nose? Are you breathing out of your mouth? Is it heavy breathing? How can you slow that breathing down? All right. Then start to pay attention as you pull your breath into your nose or your mouth, however you breathe. You're paying attention in that moment, right? Once you start to do that and you start to take a personal scan of your body as your breath is grounding you, you will see that the mind will not focus on all those things, and it brings you to the present moment because you're focusing on something in the present moment, which is your breathing, right? Do you see what I'm saying, guys? So that is where you start. At least that's where I started, right? So this is what I'm telling. This is my own experience, and you know, just working in these types of ways with my body and others, my clients and things like that. This is just what I've figured out, and things are always evolving and changing. So we'll see, but I know that in order to move energy out of the body, you must move the body, you must do movement, you must have breath work, and you must be aware, self-aware. And it's interesting because self-awareness is one of the most powerful things that we can come into, right? And you're always going to teeter-totter out, right? Because you're always evolving and changing, and you always have to adjust to your current frequency and the energy that you're putting out. But when we're self-aware about the way that we're handling things, then we can be more aware of the way that other people are handling us, and we can choose to engage or not engage, or, you know, job-wise, anything else. You could apply this to anywhere in your life, guys, anywhere in your life. It's easier to talk about human energy exchange because we all deal with different humans on a daily basis. Most of us do at some point, you know? So anyways, guys, just take care of yourself. Self-awareness is learning to take care of yourself. Once you're able to have self-accountability, once you're able to have a little bit more of emotional intelligence and have a little bit more self-awareness, that's going to happen. Wait, I wonder if I said that right. Okay. Once you become to be more self-accountable, then you really start to sit in that pocket of self-awareness, and then you really start to become emotionally intelligent, right? Intelligent about your own emotions, where they're coming from, because guys, emotions have so much to do with everything that we do in our life. So once we get that in check, then everything becomes a lot more clear, okay? So guys, thanks for watching my video. I hope it helped, and if you have any questions or you just want to talk about things, drop it in the comments. I love a good discussion. Just a good, wholesome discussion and exchanging energy. I love it. All right, guys, y'all have a good week.